Dr. Heather Tucker here with another episode of Wisdom Wednesdays. And boy, are you in for a treat today and really for the next 9 weeks. So what I want to talk with you today is about the fruits of the Spirit. Over the next 9 weeks, we're going to go over each of the fruits of the Spirit. But what I want you to know first is, why are we even talking about this? For those of you who are business owners, we're called to have relationships on deeper levels with God, ourselves, others, and the world, the people that we serve. Our business is an extension of us. For those of you who are parents and spouses, we're called to practice and be the examples of the fruit of the Spirit to our family. And even when we want to strangle them, right? Our family, our friends, our loved ones. And right now, there's so much stuff going on in the world. Regardless of what your faith is and what your beliefs are, the fruit of the Spirit, even though it's tailored towards Christianity, it also really encompasses what our soul craves, what our spirit craves to be. I talk a lot about energy, right? How it's really all about energy, our spiritual health, our mental health, our emotional health, our financial health, our wellness health, all of it ties into our energy, who we are, what we carry, what we expand. So my motivation for letting you know about these fruits of the Spirit, I know that some of you may have not heard of it, or some of you may have studied it like me, but growing in these fruits will help you to set up a solid foundation to stand on in your business and in your life. And where we can be able to really operate from this place of ease and grace and create peace on all sides of life, not just some. And it's compared to operating in pain and struggle and turmoil and working hard, so you can be able to actually work smarter, not harder, and create that time, money, and emotional freedom that we're all called to have. So hopefully this gave you a little bit of motivation to want to continue to really learn this and be with me on each one of these. So the fruits of the Spirit is a term that sums up 9 attributes of a person's character and community living, how to be able to strengthen ultimately our relationship with ourselves and other people. Another motivation is that it actually, as we cultivate these, can allow you to eliminate negative thoughts and feelings, including doubt, feelings of unworthiness, feelings of fears, anger, sadness, hurt, fear, guilt, all of these. And it also will give you the confidence to know that you are made and called for wonderful and amazing things through the work that you do. So what are these fruits of the Spirit? You can find it in more detail in Galatians 5:22 and 23 in the Bible. But it says the fruit of the Spirit is love, peace, patience, kindness, generosity, faithfulness, gentleness, and definitely self-control. And I know for me, especially as I think about years previously, I struggled with a lot of these things. For me, I used to be a very internally suppressive, angry, and sad person. And I ended up projecting it out into the world around me. And I didn't really have a lot of patience. I didn't really have a lot of love. My love only went so deep. And so there's a difference between the surface level love that we experience. So that's the one we're going to talk about today. So you have a list of what all of them are, and we're going to take each of them one by one. The first one I want to talk about is love, right? It's actually the greatest of all of these. That's probably why it's the first one. Our love can really be able to heal all things. And it's so easy in our society to experience the surface level love versus the deep level connection that is based on solid connection, acceptance, trust, right? I talked about in a video how our love can heal all things. And it really is true. As we amplify and cultivate each of these fruits, especially with love, this is why we're starting with that one, it actually allows us to not only give other people love better, like do right more than be right, and give love more than get even. But it also allows us to be able to receive. I want to talk about these in this giving and receiving energy. After talking with so many people in business, uh, I've realized that there's a lot of commonalities in some of the struggles. And one of them has to do with receiving our inheritance, receiving our blessings. It's so easy for us to give, but it's like the same energy. It's like breathing, right? We breathe in and we breathe out. We receive and we give. And what happens is if one of those is off balance, breathing in or out, we can only go for so long. So being able to have that cyclic energy is so possible. So, let's talk about love. Okay, let's talk about love. Unresolved significant emotional events, unresolved traumatic experiences can actually prevent us from deepening our love. We have these patterns that we tend to run. If there was trauma or something that you experienced difficulty in past work environments, right? That can actually impact how we do business. I love being able to support people in healing the past, healing the trauma, so therefore they can have a bigger vision for the future and also live more in the present, because tomorrow hasn't gotten here. The past is already been. The only thing we have control of is really what we do today. And it's interesting because why do these things kind of get in our way? Why do they get in our way? It creates these patterns. Heart wounds create blind spots, right? Some of us may have experienced betrayals, mistrust, trust issues. I remember having trust issues since I was a little kid, right? Like the enemy is out there near me. Who can I trust? Or even feeling unsupported, not valued, unappreciated in work and or home. And love is really all about matters of the heart, right? It's our mind that sometimes get in the way of this deep level love, but it really is all about owning and honoring our emotions, our empathy, our energy. There's a couple of scriptures that I want to tell you about love as well. The first one is 1 Peter 4:8. Above all, love each other deeply, because love covers a multitude of sins. So the reality is, I know that it's easy to be able to live in regrets. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Oh, I hear often, this business should have been at this point by now. My relationship issue should have already been resolved by now. My kids should know how to act appropriately and obedient by now, right? Recognize that a lot of us, we're just doing the best that we can with the resources that we have available. And hurt people will hurt people. And sometimes consciously and sometimes unconsciously. I was a hurt person, and I know that I hurt other people. And I recognize, wow, like it was such a good learning experience, because I realized that that I was hurt too. And then I switched it to healing, right? So heal people, and it creates this wave. So as you amplify your love, your unconditional love is like that agape love. And I know, and it requires being able to forgive self, other people. Some of you might even be pissed off at God. I know there was one time I was too. It was like, what in the world are we doing here? But it's interesting, and it goes into the second scripture I want to share with you, John 4:16, where it talks about God is love, and whoever lives in love lives in God and God in them. See, if you, it's almost like if you want to burn out, if you want to get overwhelmed, if you want to get stressed out, then go the battle alone. But if you want to be able to really have that ease and grace, amplify your faith, whatever that is, right? Amplify that, create that more trusting, less thinking mentality. Because in John 5:15-12, he said, my command is this: love each other as I have loved you. So what I realized on this journey of where I wanted to usually blame people, you did this to me, or you made me feel this way, right? was that, well, just like God has forgiven me, I really need to be able to forgive them. And no one can really ever make you feel a certain way if we don't let them. This is that stuff that I talk about, how to be able to maintain and preserve your own energy. And the last one I want to share with you is 1 Corinthians 13, 4-7. It says, love is patient, love is kind, love does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs, it does not delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth, it always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres, love never fails. So if I was asked you on a scale of 1 to 10, what is your current word? 10 is not at all love and that depth, and 1 is not at all that love, and 10 is totally love, totally that unconditional. What number would you give yourself? What number would you give yourself in on a scale of 1 to 10 for your love for God, for your love for yourself, for your love for other people? Now, really it is that priority, because we can't give people what we don't have. So what I learned is that the more that I cultivated and amplified the love and received the love that God has for me, also the love, and created that love within myself, it was easier to be able to give that love to other people, and not from a depleted place. So I want to share with you 3 secrets, okay? 3 secrets on how to cultivate and how to amplify your love. Because I know right now, in the season of uncertainty, the season of chaos, and who knows how long this season will last. The time is now. The time is now to really be able to amplify and enjoy that journey of your purpose with that total passion from your heart. See, when your mind, body, and soul, your mind and heart work on one accord and they're working together. Has any of you ever said, my heart feels this way and my mind feels this way and I'm totally conflicted? Or part of me feels this way and part of me feels this way and I have no clue. Well, by amplifying your love, it'll actually start to create that clarity, that wisdom, that understanding that is deep within you. No matter who you think you are, you're so much more than that. And that is the need to be able to live your calling, live your purpose, be honest in your work. So here are the 3 secrets. I hope you're ready. The first one is, this is good. Start your healing. Start your heart healing. Make a list of who is it that you need to forgive? Who is it that you want to have forgiveness from? Make these lists, right? Write it out. Say a prayer, say, give it to God, burn the list if you want to. But, give yourself that permission to have a fresh start. Know that regardless of whatever has happened in the past, and I know that some of you have gone through traumatic things. I know I don't look like what I've been through, but it has definitely been a lot. And what I learned is I could stay stuck in that feeling of despair or that victim mindset, like, why is all this craziness happening to me? Or I could step into the victorious. Everything's happening for my good. Wow, like giving yourself a permission for a new season, a fresh start. And it can really all start with amplifying your love. So start creating that heart healing. Issues of the heart, right? So I talk about in a lot of my classes, emotional wisdom and how to use emotional wisdom to restore our own health. And so I equate a lot of like the illnesses that people have to what they're experiencing, their emotions. It's all connected, right? The mind is the central processing unit of the entire body, and the heart really amplifies and facilitates that process because it really connects to our the emotional aspect of our mind. And for some of you, maybe you shut down that part of your mind. Like, I know that there was a time in life where it was just way too painful. I said, I don't want to feel anymore. So I shut down that emotional aspect of me and I focus mostly on the logic part. And what happens is it creates this division even more. So when your mental and emotional wellness and mind are working together on one accord, it actually creates harmony. It allows your creativity to be able to flow. It allows you to be able to see other people and what's going on at a deeper level with them, recognizing that sometimes it has nothing to do with you. So this heart healing, the reason why this is so important is because I think about relationships did not come easy for me. I don't know if they came easy for you, but no one gives us a manual on relationships. But a lot of times relationships were difficult, and the reason why was just because each of us had these complexities going on that we didn't really understand. So we're called to have this deeper level of connections. And we think about relationships, and what happens is that with our heart wounds, we can not only create blind spots, but they actually create these patterns from one relationship to the next. It's interesting. I'm like, oh my gosh, what is the common denominator of all these chaotic relationships? And I'm like, oh, it's me. Okay, cool. So how can I be that change that I wish to see and reflect that and cultivate that within myself? Healing the heart is so powerful because right now, I don't know how many heart attacks there are per day. And a lot of the heart attack issues that people have to do with some of the deep level unresolved stuff that has just weighed down heavy on their heart. And sometimes it can be suppressed anger. The anger has a lot going on within the heart too, betrayal, etc. And if we don't resolve these things, then we'll end up continuing to attract these same patterns and these same relationships if we don't change it. And it's also the same thing in business. So I like talking about relationships. I also like talking about career. If there was heart wounds and trauma, it's interesting, right before I did this video, I went down to the water, I got connected. And I ran into an amazing Navy veteran. He was just coming in town. And he was telling me about how the military makes up 1% of the population. And only 1% of that population has gone through some of the chaotic experiences. And sometimes it's easy to feel like you're in it by yourself, that no one understands how you feel. But what I've learned is that there's so many people that have gone through similarities and similar situations. And when you connect to those people, you recognize that you're not alone. That's so beautiful. When you heal the heart, it allows you to be able to come from a place of aloha. Aloha does not really just mean I love you, hello, and goodbye. It means being the light. It means letting your light shine. It means being truthful. It means being humble. It encompasses gratitude. It encompasses actually a lot of the fruits of the spirit, especially the patience, patient perseverance on the path. There's so much greatness and wisdom there. There's so much love that you have within you. And it might be just stuffed down or blocked by some of the experiences that you've had. So when you free yourself from the past and you're able to live more in the present, you're able to see more of the blessings and the love that happens each way. This is why I want you to be able to start your heart healing. I want you to be able to start your mind healing. I want you to be able to start your physical healing. And it's a journey. It's definitely a journey, but if not now, then when? And if not you, then who? Okay, so start your heart healing, start your mind healing, start your body healing. Secret number 2 to cultivate more love. less thinking and more trusting. Let me repeat that. Less thinking and more trusting. Why is this so important? We can outthink ourselves. Our mind can overthink. It could be like this just ticking time bomb, like think, think, think. I remember having difficult, now I sleep like a baby. But back then, I would be so stressed out that I would have insomnia. I wouldn't sleep. Or I'd sleep and I had nightmares and I'd wake up in the morning or in the middle of the night. Or, not only that, there was just this constant stress and overwhelm of how am I going to handle this? What is it going to look like? Because I wanted to control what the outcome was. And the reality is that when we take the pressure off and we operate out of a place of trust, then that will create that wisdom and that guidance on what's the next step. Who should I connect to? Who can I trust? And a lot of times, how much trust that we have as we amplify and cultivate that love, it also amplifies and cultivates our trust. So less trusting or less thinking. Stop thinking yourself out of things. Stop the mind. And this is one of the reasons for those of you who are listening to this, which is a really big power of our communication mastery program. Because in communication mind mastery, it's really about paying attention to how sometimes our mind can talk us out of things. It can self-sabotage. It can cause us anxiety, procrastination, uncertainty. I'm not sure of what our triggers are, feeling that procrastination that can lead to paralysis and not even being able to move forward, and time just passes by and we're not really living our calling or expressing ourselves or speaking our truth or knowing about the confidence. It can just go on and on and on. And I know that it's not easy to trust, but one of the things that my grandmother, I love her. My grandparents were married 73 years before my grandfather passed. And my grandma, she would always put in our cards, Proverbs 3:5. I can't remember what chapter it is, but y'all should hopefully maybe know this. It says, trust in the Lord with all of your heart and don't rely on your own understanding, because it's our own understanding that will get in our way, like what we think. We only see part of the picture, just part. God sees the whole picture. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. And it was that scripture that led me from getting caught up in working for other people and working in this path that would lead me down to just total destruction because I didn't understand what was going on, to entrepreneurship, to recognizing that, you know what? God is an awesome boss, and I will go ahead and do what he's called me to do. And I will allow him to be able to lead me to the right people to be able to support me, because this leads into secret number 3. Know that you're not alone. I mentioned this before, but it's also don't go the battle alone. Have support, because we're called to be able to actually work together to be able to better achieve the outcome. This is one of the reasons why I love book collaborations. This is one of the reasons why I love speaking engagements. This is one of the reasons I love partnering and working with other people. Now, when there's a difficulty or there's jadedness in our love that we give and also the love that we receive, it actually can make partnerships and working with other people really complex, because our own stuff can get in the way of having it be a successful collaboration. So knowing that you are worth more than rubies in itself, knowing that you are a masterpiece and that you're amazing and called for wonderful things. There's one thing to know it, and there's another thing to own it. And when you own it and you believe it, then you can achieve it. And then your dreams do become reality. And know that a lot of times, especially as we're on this journey of entrepreneurships, we can give up right before the big blessing, or we can miss the window of opportunity that can lead us to great success, because there's complexity in our love and our ability to be able to give and receive that. So as a recap, start your heart healing, start your mind healing, start your body healing, start your soul healing, right? More trusting, less thinking, knowing that timing actually is always perfect. God's timing is always perfect. We want things right away. I thought like, oh my gosh, I've been given this vision for this amazing company. Success is going to happen like right now. And God is laughing like, ha ha ha, no, you got some stuff to do. Okay, cool. So knowing that timing is perfect. And then also knowing that you're not alone on the journey. There's other people who've gone through similarities, who can understand and appreciate and respect the difficulties that you've gone through and that you're overcoming or that you're battling now, right? And it's never going to be exactly the same situation. So I'll take back understand, but they can also be able to appreciate and meet you where you're at. This is one of the reasons why I love deep level, awesome coaching. So let me know in the comments below which one of these secrets spoke to you the most. And also, if you like this video, make sure to like, share it, because sharing is caring. And I look forward to seeing you next week when we talk about the next fruit of the Spirit, which is joy. Oh, that's going to be a good one. I look forward to seeing you then, and have an amazing Wisdom Wednesday. Peace.